Imagine for a second that you could maintain your exact same comfortable lifestyle, but you're doing it for literally just 30% of what you're spending right now in the US or Europe. I know, it sounds almost impossible, right? But what if I told you that this dramatic drop in living expenses isn't a fantasy? It is a daily reality for a growing number of expats who've made the strategic move to Egypt. Welcome to today's Explainer. We are going to completely unpack the financial and logistical roadmap for relocating to Egypt, and we're drawing directly from the firsthand experiences of expats who have actually pulled this off. Our main focus? Exactly why Egypt costs 30% less and how you can secure that incredible cost of living for yourself. We're going to dive deep into how to generate the right kind of income and how to avoid the hidden logistical traps that end up sending so many people packing right back home. To make sure we cover all our bases, here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the appeal of Egypt, move into earning money, look at defining your purpose, prepare you for the flight, and then break down those final 30 days before you move. Okay, let's jump right into Section 1, the appeal of Egypt, focusing on the weather, culture, and halal living. Before we get into these spreadsheets and budgets, we have to look at why expats are drawn here in the first place, beyond just saving money. The quality of life is a huge draw. I mean, you've got amazing winter weather. Expats literally report walking around with no jackets in December. That is a pretty stark contrast to freezing rain in the US or Canada, right? Then there's the culture itself. Locals refer to Egypt as al-Dunya, which translates to mother of the world. And expats consistently say they feel deeply embraced and welcomed by the people. Plus, for Muslim expats, it offers a fully halal-friendly environment. You don't have to seek out niche pockets for your lifestyle. Islamic education and Arabic institutes are everywhere. And geographically, it's the ultimate central hub. Instead of a grueling 15-hour flight, a trip for Umrah or a quick vacation over to Europe or the UK is just a short, highly manageable flight away. Now, let's get to the hard proof of that 30% cost of living, because this is where things get really interesting. Because of a highly favorable exchange rate and significantly lower local labor costs, everyday goods are heavily discounted for anyone holding foreign currency. Just look at this recent grocery haul. We are talking about staples: 1.5 kilos of oranges, 34 eggs, a kilo of ground beef for 198 Egyptian pounds, a kilo of chicken breast for 244 pounds, local olive oil, and Arabic coffee. When the expat tallied up this entire haul, which, by the way, also included toast, buns, butter, cheese, tea, imported Italian pasta, and household items like detergent, the grand total came to just $72. When your foreign currency stretches this far, that 30% lifestyle is an absolute reality. Which brings us right to Section 2, earning money as an expat and avoiding the local currency trap. So, if everything is so affordable, you might be thinking, hey, I'll just show up and grab a local job. Well, hold on, because that is a massive trap. You'd be competing against a huge local workforce, and crucially, you'd be getting paid in Egyptian pounds. Earning locally means you will actually struggle to survive. In fact, even local professionals sometimes need side hustles just to make ends meet. The golden ticket here? Remote work. By earning in a strong currency like US dollars or British pounds, but spending in Egyptian pounds, you are leveraging geo-arbitrage. Your purchasing power skyrockets, and you literally get the best of both worlds. Beyond just securing a remote job or running an online business, generating income can take a few different shapes. You might rely on investments back in your home country, like rental income, to keep a steady flow of foreign currency coming in. Another route is investing in Egyptian real estate, though keep in mind this is a very long-term play, requiring heavy due diligence and a 10-plus year timeline for any ROI. Now, there is one notable exception to the local job rule, and that's working as a teacher or administrator at an international school, which reportedly does offer a decent living. But at the end of the day, the absolutely safest way to live abroad is by building multiple streams of income. If your online business has a slow month, your rental income from back home keeps you afloat. You never ever want to have all your eggs in one basket when you're living overseas. Moving on to Section 3, Step 1, define your purpose, and answering the big questions. Look, here is the exact sequence you must follow to avoid a disastrous relocation. Honestly, most expats get this completely backwards. They hop online and start looking at cheap apartments first. Big mistake! You have to start with Step 1, your purpose. Why are you actually going to Egypt? Is it for that comfortable 30% lifestyle? Is it for Islamic schooling for your kids? How long do you plan to stay? Only after you define your why can you move to Step 2, which is researching schools that fit that purpose. The location of that school then dictates Step 3, the city you choose. That city dictates Step 4, the specific neighborhood. And finally,
Step 5 is looking at rent and apartments. If you do this out of order, you might find an amazing, cheap apartment, only to realize it's a massive, soul-crushing commute to the only school that fits your family's needs. That is a fast track to expat burnout.
Let's look at Section 4 now, preparing before you fly, which is all about establishing your systems and safeguards. The real heavy lifting of moving abroad happens long before you ever book a flight. First up, you absolutely must maintain your home country phone number. Why? Two-factor authentication. If your bank sends a security text to a number you canceled, you are entirely locked out of your money while sitting in a foreign country. Trust me, you don't want that headache. Second, you need a permanent home address back home for your financial institutions and government mail. Third is strategic packing. Luggage space is premium real estate. Don't bring things you can easily buy in Cairo. Instead, pack items that are incredibly difficult to find locally or items that carry massive import taxes in Egypt, like certain electronics. And fourth, build a bulletproof international banking and money transfer system before you pack a single bag. To really drive that banking point home, consider this real-life expat experience. They were just out at a local market when, boom, their primary credit card was suddenly blocked, which is actually a super common occurrence with international fraud triggers. But because they had a backup, they simply pulled out a second card and paid for their groceries without breaking a sweat. If you don't have redundancies built into your financial system, meaning multiple cards, different bank accounts, emergency cash, and dollars or euros, a simple blocked card can turn a fun grocery run into an absolute crisis. And that brings us to Section 5, the final 30 days. This is where execution takes over from planning. When you hit that 30-day mark, the planning phase is officially over. You are in pure execution mode. At 30 days out, you are gathering all your final documentation and finalizing exactly what happens to your house and car back home. At 20 days, you're knocking out all those final medical checkups in your home country. At 10 days, you are confirming your flights and booking your temporary accommodation and rental car for when you land. And finally, 1 day out, you're executing that strategic packing plan based on what's highly taxed versus what's readily available in Egypt. Handling these administrative tasks before you leave is absolutely vital for your wallet. Let's look at a quick example. If you secure your international driver's permit while you are still in the US, it costs about $20. But if you wait and try to navigate the system once you're inside Egypt, it can cost anywhere from $120 to $150, not to mention the sheer difficulty of the process over there. Pre-planning literally pays off. It's how you stay aligned with that goal of living on just 30% of your budget. Every single detail handled at home protects your wealth abroad. So, we've looked at the incredible financial benefits of that 30% lifestyle, the welcoming culture, the absolute necessity of earning in strong currencies, and the precise logistical roadmap to get you to Egypt without losing your mind or your money. But as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one fundamental question. Is your family truly ready to define your purpose for Egypt? Because as we've seen today, no matter amount of cheap groceries or sunny winter weather will ever make up for a move that lacks a unified, clearly defined goal. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I highly encourage you to take that exact question to the dinner table tonight.